Good morning, beloveds. Beta is working its way through the area. So, apparently it's still a tropical storm, and it is raining, and it looks like it's going to rain all day. So I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, went to the bathroom. I could hear the rain, so I went and just bumped my alarm up an hour. There's no point in getting up at 6 if you can't go for a walk or a run or whatever. So I was like, okay. So I bumped my alarm up and slept for an extra hour to this morning. We'll see if it did me any good. All the news talking heads are like, if you don't have to go anywhere, stay home. I have to go somewhere. But I'm definitely one of the turn around, don't drown crowd. So please, if you are in the Houston area, be safe today. I was watching the news last night, and I watched this car drive in and to the water. And the news crew tried, they said, don't do it. And he just hit that point, and those cars are like $2,000 or 2,000 pounds, sorry. And it just hit that point where it was floating. Physics says it does not take much water to make even big things float. And it was fairly, so please be safe today. It's like, Spirit will protect you, but not from your own foolishness. Which is ironic when our title today is I am sustained by the truth. And the truth is, Spirit will protect you, but not from your own foolishness. So please turn around, don't drown. Okay, like I said, it is September 22nd. It is Tuesday. Our title is I am sustained by the truth. And our Bible quote is, tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Lord. And that is from 1 Kings 22:16. Let's see. Everyone believes that truth alone can make us free. We all know that ignorance is the great mistake of the ages, and that enlightenment alone can save us from the thraldom of our own errors. Jesus, the wise, boldly proclaimed that the knowledge of truth would automatically produce freedom. He also said that a knowledge of the truth includes a realization of the presence of the creative spirit of life. This teaching calls for a recognition of life in everything, of spirit operating everywhere. He taught that we must recognize the spirit in everyone, that the Spirit of God is also the quickening life of the child. The entire teaching of this most noble of all intellects calls for a recognition of one infinite life everywhere present, therefore at the center of our own being, and an equal recognition that God and the child are one. Therefore, I commune with the truth that makes me free. I proclaim the presence of this truth, active in everything I do. I rejoice in this recognition and seek evermore to become consciously aware that I am sustained by the truth, that I am in it, of it, and one with it. This conscious union with life, which Jesus called knowing the truth, frees us from the tyranny of fear and the thraldom of fate. I daily practice the belief in this truth because I believe there is but one supreme actor. Okay, so he'll give me a bunch of, easy ones, and then he smacks me with, the truth. Because this is one of those passages that if you understood every word, you were a spiritual master. And I feel like I understand the concept, but this feels like something that I should read every day for the rest of my life, and I probably still wouldn't grasp it as fully as A spiritual master, i.e. Jesus and Buddha. I mean, I'm not saying that I couldn't. I'm just saying that to live with this truth every moment of every day consciously, that's a spiritual master. To look in another person's eyes in the heat of the moment and see God looking back at you, that's a spiritual master. Because imagine what the world would be like if we could look into every single person's eyes at every moment and see God looking back at us. Imagine if in that moment, the heat of the moment, when you are just, because we all have them. We all have those moments that we are so angry we can't see straight. And that's the problem. That's the problem. We're so angry we can't see straight. So when we are looking in that other person's eyes, we're not seeing God looking back at us. We're not seeing straight. If in the heat of that anger we could look in the other person's eyes and see God looking back at us, imagine what the world would be like. Because we would probably stop. And if the other person could do that as well, then, I mean, we would stop. If we could look in each other's eyes and see God looking back at us, we would stop hurting each other. Intentionally. And we would be less likely to do it unintentionally. I mean, it happens. It happens unintentionally. Because we are unconscious. And so what this passage is asking us to do is to be conscious at all times that everything around you and everyone around you is animated by the same spirit. That when you look in another being's eyes, and I'm going to use the word being because we're surrounded by living things, then that's God looking back at you. Which gives you a whole new idea on the Buddhists' idea of not eating animals. Of their vegetarianism, of walking through the world as carefully as they can. So that they are not damaging plant life. They are not damaging animals. And I mean, you still got to eat. And trust me, I am an anthropologist. My bent was archaeology, and so I understand we have pointed teeth and flat teeth. We are omnivores. We are meant to eat meat, but we can do it in kind and courteous ways. We can make sure that the animals that we are eating are raised ethically, that they live comfortable-ish lives, and that when we do move them from, pen to plate, that we do it in a kindly way where they are not in fear and, but that's what that truth asks of us. It doesn't ask us to be what we're not. We are human. And we are going to have emotions, but what it does ask us to do is at the height of it, when we could hurt one another, when we could hurt other living things, that we remember that is God looking back at us. And to not do it, to not hurt each other, to recognize that is God. And what can we do to make our lives and their lives, the best that we can? We are our brothers and sisters keepers. We are the stewards of this planet. We are not the planet's masters, but the stewards. It's our responsibility to care for this place kindly, compassionately, ethically, to do that and still do what we're doing. I think I'm getting a little worked up. I'm doing the Sunday service this Sunday, if you didn't know that, and my title is "What If There Was No Them?" and that's what this is. What if there is no them? There is no them, because we all have the same actor. We all have the same actor. Okay. I'm getting myself all worked up. Because that's my truth. That is absolutely my truth. So, I feel this one. I feel this one so much. Everyone believes that the truth alone can make us free. We all know that ignorance is the great mistake of the ages, and that enlightenment alone can save us from the thraldom of our own errors. The thraldom. The thraldom. Who uses words like that? Ernest does. Okay, so what is the truth? The truth is there is one. One life, one presence, one power, and that power is love. And that power is what animates each and every one of us, and it's the power that we, if we are conscious of it, can make this world the paradise that it is. We just don't see it and we don't live in it. And that's our thraldom. And that's our error. Jesus, the wise, boldly proclaimed that the knowledge of truth would automatically produce freedom. He also said that a knowledge of the truth includes a realization of the presence of the creative spirit of life. I'm not going to claim that I have a line on the truth, but I am going to claim that I have an idea of the truth. And that's what I'm working on. That's what I work on every single day. And this helps. I work on that truth every day. And I work on that truth of, even when I'm having a moment, working on that truth of, because God love Rita. I love Rita. She is a 14-pound ginger cat, and she is very sweet. And last night I was tired and I was overwrought, and she was driving me crazy. And if I had taken that moment to think about, it was probably the storm that was upsetting her. It's probable that since I was overwrought, that I was upsetting her, and she was trying to comfort me and calm me down, and I just wasn't willing. And yet, if I had calmed down, she would have calmed down, and we both would have had a better night. Because she was trying. One presence. This teaching calls for a recognition of life in everything, of spirit operating everywhere. It's calling for consciousness. It's calling for being conscious every moment. But it also means that when we have an unconscious moment, we don't beat ourselves up. When we don't beat ourselves up. And you say, okay, I had an unconscious moment. What do I need to do to fix this? And we readjust and we do it again. So forgive yourself and move on when you have an unconscious moment. And then just readjust and reapply yourself to that consciousness. He taught that we must recognize the Spirit in everyone, that the Spirit of God is also the quickening in the life of the child. You are a child of God. That means the quickening in you is God. Spirit. The entire teaching of this most notable of all intellects calls for the recognition of one infinite life everywhere present. Therefore, at the center of our own being, and an equal recognition that God and the child are one. Your truth. The center of your being is spirit. The center of everyone's being is spirit. The center of everything's being is spirit. Everything that surrounds us is spirit in form. And that is our teaching. That's why we have the circle V. Everything is contained within the same. And then the V is spirit moving into form. And the interesting thing about form is spirit moves into form and it is constantly moving back out of form. Here one moment, gone the next. Today I commune with the truth that makes me free. I proclaim the presence of this truth active in everything I do. I rejoice in this recognition and seek ever more to become consciously aware that I am sustained by the truth, that I am in that I am in it and of it and one with it. And what is that truth? There is one. This conscious union with life, which Jesus called knowing the truth, frees us from the tyranny of fear and the thraldom of fate. When we recognize the one, then we recognize that's all there is. That's everything that is. And then we go, oh, so we truly are brothers and sisters. And then it frees us from the thraldom of fate, because when you're conscious, you can make a choice. And that's the thraldom of fate, is that that so often we're born that, well, this is the way it is, that there's nothing we can do about it. That's not true, because you are filled with a creative spirit that when you are conscious of it will provide you avenues and answers and guidance and wisdom when we listen. So it's not fate, but no choice is still a choice. I daily practice the belief in this truth because I believe that there is but one supreme actor. We are all God having an experience of itself. Yeah. This is a spiritual masters. This is the doctoral program, the truth. And it is something that I work on every day. And it's something I encourage you to work on every day. And it's something that I encourage you to, when we have those unconscious moments, let it go, readjust, reapply, because we have all of the time in the world to work on this. And the more consciously we will do it, then the more subconscious it will become and the easier it is. Woof, one truth. Woof. Our mission for today. Our mission for today is the recognition of life in everything. That's our doctoral degree. That the life that quickens the child, where it comes from. The life of God is the same life that quickens the child, and you are the child of God, in whom spirit is well pleased. So do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Right now it is raining lightly. It would be a really good time to open those windows, get some fresh air, get some fresh perspective, listen to that sound and smell that smell. There's something about the smell of the earth during the rain. It's soothing, it's comforting, it's wonderful, and that would be a great time to open the windows of your soul and allow the breath of heaven to come in and remind you that heaven is around you. It just takes a new perspective to see it. To remember that all life is one life, and that one life is love. So, I'm going to move on into the process of my day. I definitely want to leave a little early to make sure that I don't have any issues on the road. So, do what you need to do to make it a fantastic day. Remember that Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you, and I will be back with you at 9 a.m. And then be safe, especially if you live anywhere near any of the bayous or waterways. I get to cross a couple of gullies, and I work pretty close to one of the creeks, so I'm going to be extra conscious today. And that's what I'm going to say. I can tell you to be careful, but I can also tell you to be conscious, because if you are conscious, you are going to be careful. All right, beloveds, have a wonderful day.